Donald Trump is losing it right now because business leaders are raising their voices and saying, we do not want anything to do with Donald Trump. We want to support Vice President Kamala Harris in the upcoming election. I want to show you about some of the latest statements from these business leaders who have decided to speak out, in some cases abandoning their prior support of Donald Trump. Let's get into it in just a second. First, my name is Brett Meiselas here with the MeidasTouch Network. Remember to hit subscribe. We are on our way to 3.5 million subscribers. We can't get there without you. So hit subscribe right now. Okay, first, I got to tell you about this new group, Business Leaders for Harris. They say, quote, for a stronger economy, we choose Kamala Harris. And some of the top business leaders in the country are coming together to say that we support Vice President Kamala Harris, that she has the stability that we need. She has the business acumen that we need, and we cannot handle the chaos of Donald Trump. Like, for example, here's Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn. Some of the most popular executives are on this Business Leaders for Harris group. Let's listen to what Reid Hoffman had to say.
I'm Reid Hoffman, co-founder of LinkedIn and partner at Greylock. The most important issue in this upcoming election is our economy. Voters want the candidate who's going to make it easier to get a job, buy a house, keep up with their household expenses. And a lot of people think that Donald Trump is that candidate. But here's the thing. Donald Trump's policies, his divisive rhetoric, and his disregard for stability and the rule of law would hurt our economy. Most CEOs I talk to agree. And that's why we started this project, Business Leaders for Harris, where I sit down with CEOs, founders, and business leaders to discuss why Kamala Harris is the right candidate to build a healthy, strong, and growing American economy.
And Trump is really freaking out that all these business leaders are standing up and making their voices heard. So this is how pathetic he's gotten. Are you ready for this? Donald Trump has now resorted to giving himself fake endorsements from business leaders. Fake endorsements. He's making them up. Like this one. He's saying that he got endorsed by Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase. The problem, it's a complete lie, not true whatsoever, but that did not stop Donald Trump from posting it on his social media account, and it did not stop these MAGA propagandists from boosting it and acting like that was a true story. It's completely fake, and in fact, Jamie Dimon's people needed to immediately issue a statement saying that is absolutely false. We did not endorse Donald Trump. It's just so pathetic, but he's just getting hit by a barrage of these business leaders endorsing Kamala Harris. Like, let me show you this. This is Reed Hastings, who runs Netflix, right? He's talking about Trump's tariffs and how they're going to drive inflation higher. Let's listen to Reed Hastings.
Growth of global free trade has been the biggest wealth creator, in the last 50 years and propelled many things. And tariffs do two things. One is they drive domestic inflation because of higher prices. And two, they generate retaliation from our erstwhile partners. So it's really a very simplistic, blame the outsider kind of thing that Trump does. And when enacted, would be quite disruptive of the economy. Again, both on the domestic inflation and on the retaliation side.
This tariffs issue is a big issue because it's going to make things more expensive for Americans. It would be absolutely crushing to our economy, and that's what every single expert worth a dime says. Let's listen to what Michael Wood says. Michael Wood is a small business owner in Texas, and he has similar fears about Donald Trump and what he would do to the business community. Watch.
Donald Trump is basically just a rich kid from New York City who has never really had to work for anything in his life and has never really had to build anything in his life. My name is Michael Wood. I'm a small business owner in Fort Worth, Texas, and I'm planning on voting for Kamala Harris for president. After college, I joined the Marines. I did 4 years on active duty. Now I live in Fort Worth, Texas, with my wife and 4 daughters, and I own a commercial truck and trailer maintenance and repair company. As a business owner, I'm most concerned about a second term for Donald Trump because I'm worried about uncertainty. Donald Trump doesn't seem to understand that tariffs are inflationary. In my industry, tariffs are going to be incredibly inflationary, and that would just reverse all the progress that's been made over the last 3 or 4 years in fighting inflation. The difference between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, whenever it comes to small businesses, is, first of all, I think that Kamala Harris understands the economy and understands, for instance, that tariffs aren't going to be paid by Mexico or China or whatnot. Tariffs are going to be paid by American businesses, and tariffs are going to be paid by American consumers. Donald Trump is basically just a rich kid from New York City who has never really had to work for anything in his life and has never really had to build anything in his life.
And Trump has found a way not only to piss off business leaders, but to also piss off workers and to renege on his promises and totally screw them over. Like, for example, Donald Trump the other day was in Warren, Michigan, and he just straight up lied to them in the past. In 2016, he told Warren they, quote, won't lose one plant if he's president. But in 2019, GM closed their Warren plant under Donald Trump. Watch this video that shows Donald Trump's promise and the Donald Trump failure. Watch this.
If I'm elected, you won't lose one plant. You'll have plants coming into this country. You're going to have jobs again.
The news today couldn't have come at a worse time. Just weeks now until Christmas, and General Motors has now revealed it will lay off workers in Ohio, Michigan, and Maryland. Thousands of jobs.
You won't lose one plant. I promise you that. I promise you.
Plant closures like at this GM plant right here in Warren.
And Trump just can't seem to accept the fact that the United States economy is actually doing quite well, especially as you compare it to other nations. I mean, the U.S. has the best post-COVID recovery, I think, of just about any nation in the world. Jobs keep hitting record highs. The stock market is hitting all-time highs. And so this is really bad for Donald Trump's campaign, and he hates when America does well, especially, if he's not in office. So the reporter at his event the other day, Donald Trump was trying to do some sort of stunt and put a bunch of kind of products behind him. And this reporter said, jobs are up. The stock market hit all-time highs. Will you acknowledge that the economy is improving? Will you acknowledge it's improving? Donald Trump goes, nope. Here's his answer.
You talk about the economy a lot out on the campaign trail. It's a very important issue to do with your voters as well. Jobs are up. The stock market hit that all-time high. Do you acknowledge that the economy is improving?
No, it's not. It's
But even Fox had a tough time putting a negative spin on the good news. I'll show you when Fox announced the strong jobs report from Friday. Watch this.
Guess what? David Barton is with us this morning. Great to have you here, David. All right, strong jobs report. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Warren. It's really hard to put a negative spin on this. It was a good jobs report. Yeah. The unemployment rate lower, the total jobs number higher. Because I'm a long-term, big picture macroeconomist, I'm always worried about the lower labor participation force. I want more people in the workforce. But as far as the percentage of people that are in the workforce and looking for a job, a good portion of them have one. It's pretty easy right now to hold a job, but at the end of the day, wages are what a lot of people are looking to, Ash, and real wages have kept up pretty good here as of late, so it's a good report.
Have you heard of NAD+? It's a molecule in every cell of your body, and it's critical to aging well. NAD+ helps keep us feeling youthful by promoting cellular energy, maintaining healthy DNA using nutrients efficiently, and supporting detoxification. By age 50, most people's NAD+ levels are only half of what they were at age 20. Falling NAD+ levels is a major reason that signs of aging start to accelerate. Luckily, science has discovered a way to boost your NAD+ levels up to 50%. It's called Qualia NAD+, a groundbreaking supplement from Qualia. Many doctors and health experts over age 30 use Qualia NAD+ themselves, and I'm proud to have them sponsor this episode. NAD+ is a large molecule that struggles to be bioavailable if you supplement it directly. That's why Qualia NAD+ supports NAD+ the right way by including ingredients called NAD+ precursors that your body can convert into NAD+ to boost your body's own NAD+ production up to 50%. That's great. These are vegan, non-GMO, gluten-free ingredients like niacin, niacinamide, Niagen, also known as NR. These are three of the most well-researched NAD+ precursors, and all three are in Qualia NAD+ to maximize your body's NAD+ production. Qualia NAD+ is clinically tested and naturopathic, doctor formulated. Look, I want to feel decades younger than my actual age. That's why I'm staying at the cutting edge of aging research and boosting my NAD+ levels with Qualia NAD+. After just a month of Qualia NAD+, I'm feeling energy support and vitality return that I haven't felt in years. So to boost your NAD Plus levels up to 50%, go to qualialife.com/Jordy. I love that. For up to 50% off and use code Jordy at checkout for an additional 15% off. That's Qualialife, spelled QUALIALIFE.com/Jordy. Go to qualialife.com/Jordy and use code Jordy, spelled JORDY, for an extra 15% off your purchase. Thanks, Qualia, for sponsoring this episode.
And we're seeing voters really embracing Vice President Kamala Harris's policies for the economy. For example, here's a Pennsylvania voter who was interviewed. Check out what she has to say.
She's just wonderful. Her ideas, she's smart, and I'm all for her.
Do you agree with her economic proposals?
I do, because I think what has happened over the past 3 years, there has been improvement. There's an improvement in wages.
And a new poll this week from Data for Progress says that voters believe that Kamala Harris is more trustworthy on the economy. It says that they believe that she is better at supporting small businesses, increasing wages, lowering housing costs, and lowering grocery costs than Donald Trump. That is a big deal for sure. And then this week also, we got major news where one of Donald Trump's major endorsers from the tech community decided, I am done with Donald Trump. I am dumping Donald Trump. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a fat check for Vice President Kamala Harris, and I'm going to support her. He made waves in Silicon Valley. Ben Horowitz, he's this tech titan, when he decided in July that he was going to back Donald Trump. Like, he made shockwaves. And now he's making shockwaves again by saying, nope, not for me, not doing it. Kamala Harris is actually the person who is better for tech. This is a huge loss for Donald Trump and a big win for Vice President Kamala Harris. And the corporate media is finally beginning to take notice of all this. This is a new article that was recently in Time magazine. They said, quote, why business support for Harris Walls is growing. Let me read this to you because I think it's quite insightful. They write, as we previously wrote for Time, polling data from approximately 60 top CEOs in attendance at our Yale CEO caucus this month reveals that business leaders are increasingly optimistic about the economy. Across a group of CEOs that had no discernible partisan leaning, 37% of our respondents self-identified as Republican, 32% identified as Democratic, and 32% identified as independents, the polling revealed that 80% of CEOs surveyed expect Harris to win, and only 20% expect Donald Trump to win. This is the most lopsided vote we have ever had. After informally asking the same who do you expect to win question of our Yale CEO caucus every presidential election year over the last several cycles. While our straw poll in both prior presidential election cycles in 2016 and 2020 revealed CEOs were expecting Trump to lose both times, the margin was far less than 80-20. The polling data also reaffirmed CEOs' substantive disagreement with Trump's proposed economic policy platform, with several expressing concerns that Trump would undermine Fed independence while pitting business leaders against each other and reigniting inflationary pressures. In particular, CEOs expressed nuanced opposition to Trump's proposed universal 10% tariffs. While 56% of CEOs believe we need to protect vital U.S. industries from unfair competition through tariffs, they distinguished between protecting against genuinely unfair foreign competition and all tariffs all the time. Some CEOs also expressed skepticism that tariffs should be an end goal in and of themselves, believing that the threat of tariffs is far more effective than the real thing. I mean, this is big, and we're starting to see the same issues kind of come up in the business community. And if you remember, back in like early September, there was a whole story that 88 business leaders have come forward to endorse Kamala Harris. Here's just a brief list right here, but you could see some of the names. These are big names, right? Mark Cuban, who's since been hitting the TV circuit and radio circuit and podcast circuit to highlight Kamala Harris's record on the economy. Barry Diller at IAC, Ken Frazier at Merck, Logan Green at Lyft, Reid Hoffman at LinkedIn, Blake Irving at GoDaddy, and the list goes on and on and on. And Trump continues to push these policies that are wildly unpopular with both business leaders and workers. And Trump also denies the effects of his policies. It's like he doesn't even know what his policies do. Like, for example, this is him recently speaking about his tariff, and he talks about tariff. It's a beautiful word, tariff. So beautiful. And by the way, it will not cause inflation. It's music to my ears. Just weird stuff that shows he has no grasp on how the economy works and how tariffs work. Watch this.
And by the way, you know, for years they knocked the word tariff, properly used, is a beautiful word. One of the most beautiful words I've ever heard. It's music to my ears. A lot of bad people didn't like that word, but now they're finding out I was right. And we will take in hundreds of billions of dollars into our treasury and use that money to benefit the American citizens. And it will not cause inflation, by the way.
But you know, we here live in a world where facts actually matter. And I think when people's jobs are on the line and when people's companies are on the line, they also believe that data matters because it affects their lives directly. So let me hit you with some quick data. This is all very recent data, right? We were talking about that jobs report, 254,000 jobs added, unemployment rate falling to 4.1%, stocks reaching record highs, wages up, inflation down. Big news. Here is JP. This is a former Trump voter on social media who broke it down brilliantly. He writes, inflation is at under 3%, violent crime at a 50-year low. Dow hit an all-time high yesterday. Unemployment is low. Jobs are plentiful. Gas prices are low. We aren't deployed in any wars. Domestic manufacturing is strong. Energy production at an all-time high. All facts, and facts are what we want to bring you here at the MeidasTouch Network. Here's another fact. This is a graphic right here from the Center for American Progress, and this is an absolutely stunning graphic. Let's pull it up, okay? 51 million jobs added since 1989. 50 million out of those 51 million were created under Democrats. 50 out of 51 million. 50 million out of 51 million created under Democrats. Do you think that's a coincidence that 98% of the jobs added since 1989 were added under Democrats? I mean, that is an astonishing number. As they say at the Center for American Progress, check the scoreboard. Democrats create jobs. Truly a stunning statistic. Also, we got to note that job creation has been much faster under President Biden than Trump, and that's no matter how you slice it and adjust it, even since the pre-pandemic jobs peak regained in June 2022. It's not even a competition. The U.S. has been the fastest to bounce back in the entire world from COVID, and we were hit hard from COVID because Donald Trump so mismanaged it. Now Donald Trump wants a mulligan on that horrific year where he lied and said it wouldn't affect people as people were going out of business and we were forced to lock down, and now he wants to bring back the same policies that were bringing us into a recession even before COVID. No, thank you. Not here. We're going to get out the facts. And I'm so glad to see these leaders of the business community doing just that. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit subscribe. We're on our way to 3.5 million subscribers here at the MeidasTouch Network. Hey, we got to be sharing these videos right now. It's more important than ever that we get out the message. All of this helps. Hit the like button, leave the comment, add the MeidasTouch podcast on audio, anywhere you listen to audio podcasts. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.